Morning. How are you all? Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, everyone.
Ain't it great to stay
Sorry,
up
I'm
late?
having
Good
some
morning.
real technical gremlins
Good
here.
morning to you and you and you and you. How are we all this morning? Who likes Mondays? Who hates Mondays?
I fucking hate them.
Right. So say love, hate. I love Mondays.
Hate.
Because for me, it's the chance of a new chapter. I see it as a clean page. Mark hates them. I used to, when I used to have things to do, like had to go out to work.
Well, we all do. I mean,
had to go out. I used to, even if I loved my job that day, I would always get Sundayitis and not want to go out.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what's going on for me. I find Mondays huge expectations of self. It's not even from the outside world. It's got nothing to do with the pressures of work or anything like that. It's the self-inflicted idea that we're starting another week and one has to get going, get cracking, get as much done as possible. And I find that it's sometimes you wake up and go, oh God, here we go again, another week. And I also can't stand the passage of time. There's yet another week gone. Lacey Knoll, I thought bubonic plague would bring you here. Look, bubonic plague brought me here. We are going to talk about bubonic plague. We've got a real mixed bag of topics today, actually. And
I didn't even know the bubonic plague story.
These are all you're not going to believe it, these are all the top trending news stories at the moment.
Yeah.
So
let's wait till more people arrive.
So
did you have a good weekend?
Can I just say, I mean, you mentioned on the live a minute ago about Super Saturday and us going out on a date night. I was surprised. We met not exactly a sort of hostile reception, but we met a lot of people who didn't like the fact that we'd gone out.
Oh yeah, it was really weird.
Quite angry at the idea that we had decided to go out at all, because it was somehow reneging on your responsibility to your parents, my responsibility to, or our responsibility to all those people we love. It was very odd, given that the government instructed us all to do our bit for the economy.
It's really weird. Some people were saying to me, you've gone very strange.
Yeah.
I mean, you wanted to stay in and you were worried about coronavirus.
Yeah. You know what?
I think it really did make me giggle though, because I thought, but I do think it's indicative of how confusing the times are.
Yeah.
We are all confused, but the thing is, we went out on Saturday with some trepidation, but with the absolute knowledge that we have to push our noses out the door. For those who want to, for those that don't,
obviously,
I think
for
just stay in.
shielding,
but it was quite funny. It was like people were quite, she seems to have changed her tune.
And then we got some people who were a bit miffy about the restaurant we chose to go to. And I thought you had a very good point, made a very good point. We wanted to go somewhere that had space and was large.
I'm not ready to go into a little
but
restaurant.
Also, regardless of who owned, we weren't thinking about giving Gordon Ramsay sort of more. All of his staff were absolutely at breaking point.
They were.
All of them. Heart. So forget who runs it. Of course,
most of the people they'd had to get rid of most of their staff, and they were so grateful that we were in there.
But there's this really odd idea that if a major company, if you ever go to a major brand or company, you're not doing something for workers. They all have workers. It's like Pret a Manger. You don't just get worthiness from going to your local greasy spoon. Do you see what I mean? Everyone's working. Everyone's losing jobs.
I saw somebody on Sky this morning talking about being evicted. You know, she was sat there in a very nice house and she was like, basically, I'm being evicted. She is, and there's going to because she's struggling with the amount of rent, and it's going to be really interesting to see what the government do next with that, because it's right across the board, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're going to have to change. But I also feel really, really sorry for the landlords, because I didn't sit there in judgment and think, oh, what a horrible landlord, because she said, oh, I tried to talk to my landlord doesn't want to know, they can't reduce the rent. Because many times landlords have got mortgages that they've got to pay.
And also, I mean,
I've
often, we all have a sort of standard stereotype of the landlord, and it's not wrong. The standard stereotype of landlords is not wrong.
But not all landlords are terrible people.
No, and that's my point. But what we also have to understand is that without landlords, there wouldn't be places to rent, and if without rent, so. This is where the economy, and this is where it's all becoming a little bit pinch pointy, is that everything is converging.
It's because it's everybody. Everything is affecting everybody. We are very much, in some ways, in a similar boat, aren't they? A lot of people are in a similar boat. In a way, of course, there's still people with terrible, people living under the poverty line and living in terrible circumstances. But I think there's unusually, at the moment, the world is feeling fear.
Yeah.
From the wealthiest to the most struggling, and maybe for some people that have had a very blessed life, maybe at the moment could be maybe even more terrifying, because the thought that like life isn't going to go as perfectly as it might have done.
Well,
it's just interesting time. It's just a really interesting time, and I just think the most important thing that there's not judgment, because nobody knows what silent hell somebody's going through, do they?
No, absolutely. Do you remember what I was saying there? I mean, again, this isn't, I told you so, but it is this thing of needing to all listen to each other a bit more, because, do you remember I was saying I'm more worried, or I'm really worried about 1st of July? I was really worried about what happens in July as soon as the ban on evictions happens, the lessening of furlough.
Oh, does the ban on evictions happen?
I think it was the 1st of July. So what we're going to see is not everyone's going to do it bang on the 1st of July.
Yeah.
But you're going to see a graduated sort of process. Now, you know, it's...
renters didn't get the rental holiday like the mortgage people did.
There's
been no rental holiday.
And there are certain firms that have been demanding the same money from their tenants. I can't remember. I think it was Pret a Manger. This is where, you know, you can have all your opinions on these great big companies, but without them, the economy fails. And Pret a Manger is being squeezed by their landlords because they won't cut them any slack. But then you've got the rent. You've got the landlords being pressured by whoever they've probably leveraged their finance to buy the property from.
It's like a fucking dominoes.
House of cards. But there is in fact a lot of news flow this morning. I just want to move through some of it.
Same here in the US, everyone is in a horrible position, Kat.
Emily Denmaid, thank you for mentioning this. Did you see the money going into the arts? This has to be applauded. It's £2 billion. It's something we've been screaming for and calling out for.
We were like rejoicing last night.
The danger with a sum like 2 billion and any sector saying it's too little is always dangerous, because as to any of us lay people, 2 billion sounds like an extraordinary amount of money.
I was listening to Kwame today, head of the Young Vic, isn't he? Kwame.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And straight away, Kay Burley, who loves a row about everything, 2 billion, not enough. You know, the way she asks everything. And he said, do you know what? He said, first of all, we are so grateful and we are so thankful. And he said, and we can work with this. Yeah. And it is what we hoped for. And I was like, well, what a lovely thing to say.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand, you know, like 2 billion, like you said, is going to be spread over. I mean, I've got no idea how that's going to be spent.
It's not going to be much individually for every single individual. It's not going to keep the wolves from the door for the vast majority of organisations. Yeah. But what it will do is potentially give them a little bit of a safety gap. What does need to happen and fast, is, as Nicholas Heitner, the head of the National Theatre, went on Newsnight or something the other day, they need to explain why you can sit 6 abreast on a flight for 6 hours. We've been banging on about this, but not in a theatre with masks on. You know, pantomime has been homed in as a genre of theatre.
Culture Secretary said today, no, it's not going to happen.
As a genre of theatre that won't return because of the shouting, screaming, and all that kind of stuff.
He said today, because it's got everything that is the most dangerous: singing, dancing, shouting. And I was just sitting there thinking, think of all the dancers. Think of all the. I mean, what are people going to do?
And none of them are furloughable.
Panto is a huge
none
earning
of them are
time
furloughable.
For a lot of self-employed performers. Let's face it, all performers are self-employed. They've been completely forgotten.
Yeah. Now, I was thinking, is this the time for us all to set up touring acting companies? Seriously, in conjunction with all of the outdoor parks throughout the country, so that every city and every region has a little acting troupe running around the country. The Globe Theatre were going to do this years ago.
I'm sure everyone is in rehearsals and they're planning it already. Well, oh my God.
I hope so.
They're incredibly resilient
Shakespeare
people.
in the Park, and I think it should happen everywhere, and I'd be up for it. But this talk about the Arts Bailout
Thank you, Julie D.
Draws me to a really tragic story that I've been following in great detail throughout. We are
so upset about this.
And this is the Broadway actor Nick Cordero, who so sadly has passed away. It felt like, you know, he received a Tony nomination for Bullets Over Broadway, starred in Waitress. It's been quite a well-publicised battle with
also in a
coronavirus.
Bronx Tale musical and Rock of Ages. Yeah, he was actually in performance when lockdown came down, wasn't he? He was in a big show.
41 years old, no underlying conditions prior to this.
New baby.
New baby.
Wife's a fitness instructor.
And the last I heard a couple of days ago, if anyone else has heard, I heard they said they were going to try and do a double lung transplant. I've never heard of such a
Because
thing.
the thing is, he went into hospital and he was actually released from hospital, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then I think 2 to 4 days later, he had to go back into hospital because there was holes in his lungs.
He was fitted a
this
pacemaker. They had to have a
evil
pacemaker
virus
taken
had
off.
been working away at him.
Yeah.
And
there he is with
and
his
then,
family and his child.
that picture literally breaks my heart.
Breaks
she
my
looked
heart.
like Christy Brinkley.
Yeah.
I know his face very well.
Yeah,
I think he's done
I
movies
recognise
as
him.
well.
Yeah, yeah. He's
And you know, she's been great on social media. She's been sort of cataloguing a fair amount of it, hasn't
gives
she?
me goosebumps. That photo. There's a photo of him on her
His
Instagram.
vitality.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah.
imagine? What does she say?
Oh, his wife says, God has another angel in heaven. My darling husband passed away this morning. He was surrounded by his family, singing and praying as he gently left this earth. I'm in disbelief and hurting everywhere. My heart is broken as I cannot imagine our lives without him.
Oh my God.
Nick was such a bright light. He was everyone's friend, loved to listen, help, and especially talk. He was an incredible actor and musician. He loved his family and loved being a father and husband. Elvis and I will miss him in everything we do every day. Oh, God.
And she goes on to thank the
his
doctors. Yeah, I mean, he ended up, when he went back the second time, he had to have his legs,
we
a
sang
leg
to him
amputated.
today, holding his hands. As I sang the last line to him, they'll give you hell, but don't you like them let them kill your light, not without a fight. Live your life. I smiled because he definitely put up a fight.
Oh, I love you forever.
Oh my God. And it's just another...
I mean, you just think of the thousands and thousands of people that have gone through this time. We just got to be so much kinder as a world. We really have. Nobody knows what private hell people are going through. Really don't. You know.
And yes, of course, alongside this, Kate Garraway's, the news you said yesterday broke that her husband has come out of the coma. Is that right?
Yeah, I
He's
think he's
regained
come
consciousness.
out, but they've
He's
said,
still not in a good way, is he?
No.
No.
I mean,
Yeah. I genuinely thought with Nick Cordero, I've been charting his story with that sort of, sort of slight eye on it, thinking, oh my God, I don't know why, I felt great identification with him because he didn't have any underlying conditions. He did seem quite young. He did seem, he was, and I just thought, I just thought it was going to be one of those stories again that was, he would triumph over adversity and be that remarkable story of, oh my God, look at this, and da-da-da. And I had visions of him standing in Broadway or being in Broadway and being applauded for surviving, but that is just so sad. It's so sad. So our heart goes out, and to everyone. I mean, obviously, this is affecting everyone.
It's just a reminder that people are losing people every day, aren't they? And and a reminder of how extraordinary the people in the NHS and over in America as well. I mean, I watched a film actually the other day on the news that just impressed me so much. Just the
Maddie's
American doctors and nurses just begging people to wear masks and begging people. Yeah, it was very, very moving. But anyway, Lynn, I hope I've had a horrendous weekend. Oh, Lynn.
5-year-old granddaughter Robin was rushed into
No.
the ICU. Low blood sugar. We were all hoping and praying for her. I'm in
Oh
bits.
my God, Lynn.
What does that mean? What does low blood sugar mean?
Oh my God. Oh, it was
Lynn.
just the other day. I know we've been going through the anticipation and everything and the
Lynn.
joyfulness a few days. Oh, well, let's not forget how utterly brilliant our doctors and nurses are.
Yeah.
And, I used to do a show years ago called City Hospital, and I was in a number of children's wards, and oh my God, you cannot believe the care that they get. So sending you so much love, and everybody, let's do a prayer for Lynn Aoki.
Lynn Aoki, sending you all of our
sending you all our love and prayers.
feelings. Oh God.
Oh dear, can't imagine. Tiny little thing.
I think Nanny Di has just texted me as well, just to say, don't forget me. Is Nanny Di here? I haven't seen you go up, Mum.
Morning, Nanny Di.
Morning, Nanny Di. A couple of other stories which I think are curious. So Rishi Sunak has mentioned a stamp duty holiday, and I've just got to pause on this just for a minute. Of all the things, of all the things currently happening, I think stamp duty holiday is the most curious thing to...
It's because they want to keep the housing market
No, I
moving
know.
because it's massive for the economy.
No,
I mean,
I know,
don't
but-
forget they always talk about the
But
housing.
who is going to be serious? If you've got the money to do that, do you not deal with tenants first? Do you not?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm saying why
No,
he's doing it.
the only reason I say
moving.
but the only reason I say that is I know, but we are in such a crisis.
I
mean,
think the
if
same.
you're moving house and you can put a pause on all those houses, everyone's still got the
But
same
is it
properties.
because, I just thought of something, is it because a lot of people are struggling to pay their mortgage and want to move down?
Oh, possibly.
Maybe
possibly.
people have got houses that they've got
Well,
to sell.
enforced house moves.
Because if they've lost their job, oh, Jesus Christ.
So many. So anyway, so there's a stamp duty holiday. I mean, I think the vast majority, home ownership is going down and new home ownership is going down year on year. So I suppose my sense on that is this will bear no relationship to the younger people struggling for jobs and zero contracts, I mean,
Morning, Aaron, welcome.
I mean, the one thing that was most stark about our night out was knowing that the staff in the restaurant were running at probably a third of their normal capacity. So, of course, the question you don't ask yourself when you're in a venue of any form is you see the people serving you. You never see the people that aren't working there, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
You never see the people that aren't working there. So, I think that's the side of it that is the unseen trauma.
Oh, Faith Goodman's saying it's not fair. It should be compared to rent. Stamp duty is not for houses under 250,000. No, but I think Faith, people with I mean, in London, even the most
inclined to agree with
modest
you,
of
Faith.
homes is going to be more than 250,000. It's very expensive.
A very
I
small
suspect,
two-bedroom will be over that.
I suspect a lot of people in London will not be able to continue to pay their mortgage, and I suppose if they've got to sell their house and move.
Maybe.
Apparently lots of people are wanting to move out of London because they can't afford it.
But stamp duty, even just over 250. I mean, I'm with Faith a bit there. I do think it's a bit of an odd one.
Well, I think you can't do that and not help renters.
Precisely.
I think you've got to do both.
Precisely,
to be
exactly,
honest.
exactly. You've got to have.
But there's not a bottomless pit, is there?
Yeah.
I suppose they've made the decision, and I suppose they've made the decision. Let's help with stamp duty because that also helps the economy. Whereas they're thinking, if we help the renters, does that really help the economy? It's brutal, isn't it? Horrendous for the people that are sat renting, really worrying. I mean, my friend Lee's the same. What does he do? He doesn't know when he's going to get his job back. He's renting. And so many people are, a number of my friends are like that.
I think a lot of actors are
feeling
going for
really,
income support.
really
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many actors that have been able to buy a place.
No,
I mean, it's extremely badly paid. Obviously, when we think of people in soaps and in movies, big movie stars, because everyone else on a movie doesn't get paid that much.
No.
And they might get one job in a whole year. So most actors I know are living on the breadline, actually.
Yeah.
So.
That's never a headline you particularly want to see.
Right, tell me this because I don't know
China,
this. Bubonic
plague. Inner Mongolia takes precautions after one case. Okay.
No.
One case. Authorities in China have stepped up precautions after a city in the Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region confirmed a case of bubonic plague. It's come from a herdsman. He's in quarantine and in a stable condition. Imagine being that herdsman. But yeah.
It can be treated with commonly available antibiotics.
Fatal but treatable, exactly. So again, the reason we popped it in there really was
Hang on,
when
how
you
do
see
they
these.
how do they know there's just one?
Well, exactly.
God.
Madagascar
Where has
saw
he
more
got
than
it?
300
Has he
cases in
just
2017.
Has he just summoned it up in his own body? He must have caught it from somebody
The
else.
reason I thought I'd talk about that is just that me and Kiki are just going over a lot of historical things in her history again, and we were looking at bubonic plague. And what's an astonishing detail about the bubonic plague is what was critical to its spread back, in the 14th, 15th century, was merchant ships. So it's how sort of vicious and viral it was. Its ability to spread was sort of ushered along by merchant ships, which in the day was that medieval equivalent to aeroplanes. Yeah. So what's a huge component to these things is being able to be spread around the planet by human activity. Do you see what I mean? I wonder how many of these diseases would die out naturally in their own countries or in places of origin if we weren't also mobile. And the other interesting bit of news today was that 14 universities have suddenly flagged up as about to go under. due to lack of foreign students, and they need financial aid. I've been trying to dig out the list.
It's interesting. I saw this. That
But universities
China,
are on the edge.
China are using
Yeah.
this as a bargaining tool with us,
threat.
apparently, a threat that if we continue to offer
Hongkongians.
Hong Kongians, is that how we say it? I always
That's
wonder.
what I'm saying.
Hong Kongians.
Hong Kongians, say it.
Hong Kongians.
Yeah, I just made it up. It's good, isn't it?
Sanctuary
Yeah.
here, that they will disallow Chinese students
Yeah.
to come here as a payback because
It will
it's-
destroy our university sector.
because the Chinese students that we have keep our universities going because they pay extortionate fees
Yeah.
to come. Poor students, the poor Chinese
yeah.
citizens. I feel so sorry for this vile government.
But I don't think people fully understand or realise or acknowledge just how much our higher education system is entirely dependent on foreign students.
Yeah.
It's entirely dependent on wealthy foreign students paying an extortionate amount of money to learn in our universities. So you remove that cash flow and you actually remove quite a number of people or youngsters who've probably postponed going to university, I'd have thought, for this year. And you can see there's a funding crisis there. So, you know, there's also, we're just beginning to feel those beginning, going back to the cinema industry, which is what I'm very
China is
close
threatening
to.
everyone. They have it in for Australia
Yeah,
too.
they do. Well, Australia are actually pushing back against China almost as strongly as the US at the moment, which is risky
Espington
because
says-
Australia are in the same you're in the same neck of the woods, aren't you?
Espington says, when are we sending our bill to China for COVID?
I know. But even with cinemas, so for example, cinemas are sort of creaking towards this July 31st open. The Hollywood studios are pushing back all of their major releases. You've got 2 major releases coming in at the end of this month, which we're very excited about. I mean, I've never been more excited about Mulan in my life. But no, I'm more excited about Tenet. But, I'm going to go and see whatever I can see. But, once those 2 movies are out of the way, what the hell next? Because everything else is being held till Christmas.
At the moment, all cinemas can open as from Saturday in England, but there's just no movies to put out.
Well, no, exactly. There's not enough to sustain keeping them open. So...
Will some of this fuel injection go to cinemas, the theatres and stuff?
Good point. Some of the 2 billion is going to independent art house cinemas.
Right.
Well, not art house, independent cinemas. So like the Prince Charles or the Rio in Dalston, there's all those indie cinemas, not the Everyman, because that's a public limited company, not Cineworld, but all these other sort of micro cinemas that are sort of, I think the Curzon might get some of that as well.
Or Porsche.
What?
Read Porsche's 877. Friend in Australia said they're heading for their second wave as they head into winter.
Oh, God, don't.
God.
Someone's just asking if Ashley Gardner's all right. What's happened?
Why? What's happened?
With Ashley? I haven't seen him. Ashley, are you there? Ashley. Someone just asked, is Ashley okay? Where's Ashley? I can't see Nanny Di either. Someone help? Can anyone see? Anyone see what Ashley was saying?
We don't need war with anyone. Exactly, Clodagh.
No.
The last bloody thing we need now is war. So can all heads of state just calm down a bit?
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We just need to be kinder, less judgy. We need to help out our fellow man.
Yeah.
And we need to just get our way through this bit by bit.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling up to see if I can see
Well,
Ashley.
scroll up and somebody might be
I am
able to tell
scrolling
us.
up.
No, back the other way.
Oh, right,
and we'll
sorry.
just go back to the beginning.
China.
We haven't seen him on here for a while, Ashley.
Check him online. Check my Instagram. Just check he's okay. I know last I saw Ashley was very excited about going to Lanzarote. So yes, Shirley Moss, you're right. Spark of joy with Kate Garraway's husband. So all of our thoughts are with
I know. Bless.
Do you, Faith Goodman?
10 hours ago,
Oh, he's okay. Is he okay?
he had a song up.
Oh, good. Do you think China are buying up the shares in British and other countries' companies as they collapse in share prices? Yes, I think it's a fact. I think that's something Trump's trying to prevent happening in America. He's trying to prevent China manipulating equities in the West, in Britain and America, so that they unnaturally fall low and then they can start to buy into it. Because, of course, whenever they publish their manufacturing data and all their industrial economic data, it impacts on the entire global economy. It always pushes the market up. So there's a strong argument at the moment that what's happening in the markets is that China, a bit like Trump does as well, is manipulating the markets up and down to just keep making money.
No, we haven't heard from Tired Mummy for a few days. I know she was struggling, wasn't she? I'm really hoping she reached out for some
Yes.
from some support.
And I know someone was doing a lovely WhatsApp group, weren't you? Was it Claire Smillie or Millie Parfitt? Someone was doing I think someone was doing a WhatsApp thing. But look, guys, we're having a little bit of a meeting this morning about when the members live is and all that this week and what we're doing this week.
So we will let you know.
Yeah, so
Got Lisa coming today.
Lisa's coming today.
So you can imagine how good the vlog's gonna be.
Yeah, and I've got some graft I've got to do in the garden quickly before they arrive. So, but look, sending all of our love, and let's send all our prayers to Nick Cordero's family, to Lynn Aoki. We really hope babies, and yeah, everyone please try and stay safe. It's very. I feel a bit jangly today. It's Monday.
You got Monday-itis.
I feel a bit jangly. All right,
Everybody,
guys.
take care. Look after yourselves.
Yeah, do.
Ashley's working a lot, says Angela. Yeah, he's back at work, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose quite a few of you will be going back to work soon. We'll miss you in the mornings.
Yeah.
Lots of love, guys. If you're new
Lots
to
of
the
love.
channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because anyone here will tell you we post loads on here.
Yeah.
And if you're not subscribed and notified, and please hit the like button just under my breast if you've enjoyed this live.
Can I do that?
No, it's
no. All right, okay.
Thanks, guys.
Lots of love, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.